Welcome to the next chapter in our Intro to ArcGIS Pro series, this one titled, Using the Selection Tools. I am your host, Andy Bonoff of Platte River Analytics. In this chapter, we will spend some time thoroughly discussing the manual selection tools, the Select by Location tool, and the Select by Attributes tool. We will also dig a little deeper into the Pro Expression Builder, which will be used a bunch throughout upcoming chapters. Let's get started. Okay, back to Pro. Here we are looking at our Archer County data that we added in an earlier chapter. In our map ribbon, toward the center is a group of tools called Selection. This first option is what I call the Manual Selection tool. Let's click on the down button here and see a list of the options for manually selecting. The first is Rectangle. With this tool, I will draw a simple rectangle on my map around a few substations. Every feature within my rectangle will now be selected. You can see down here at the bottom that 5 features were selected. Next is the Polygon tool. With this option, we will add vertices to create a polygon. To end the polygon, I will double-click. All the features within my polygon are now selected. After I draw this polygon, I can see that 4 features were selected. Next is the Lasso tool. This tool is very similar to a freehand tool. I will freehand a polygon around a handful of subs. I like using this tool when I need to draw random shapes or have features spread out all over the map. Also, it's a fun tool to use. After that is the Circle tool. And this tool is pretty self-explanatory. Here, we are going to draw a circle, and then everything within the circle will be selected. To do so, click once to begin the circle, drag away from the point, and let go of your mouse clicker to finish the circle. Everything within the circle is selected. Next is the Line tool. Let me quickly turn on my Archer County roads. With this tool, we are going to draw a line. We can add as many vertices as we would like with this tool. This tool will select any features that intersect the line that we draw. Last is the Trace Selection tool. This is one of my favorites. Let me turn on my Archer railroads this time. With the Trace tool, we want to click on or near a feature. Then, without letting go of our clicker, trace along a line or polygon. Watch my mouse go along this railroad line. It is tracing along the line. By double-clicking, I will finish the selection. This tool is very useful for complex lines or polygons like river and land parcel boundaries. That's it for the manual selection tools. Always make sure to clear your selection after finishing. All of the manual selection tools are very useful and tools that I use on a daily basis. Next up is the Select by Location tool. Next up is the Select by Location tool. Let's go back to our selection group in the map ribbon and click on the Location tool. That will bring up this box. The Select by Location tool utilizes 2 different layers, an input layer and a selecting layer. In this example, I want to select all substations that intersect the railroad line. I will just drag my substation layer over as my input feature, and then drag my railroad layer over as my selecting feature. I will then hit Apply. Hitting Apply and not OK allows the selection to run and keep the window open. As you can see down here in the bottom right, this selection resulted in 0 selected features. This time, let's use a search distance. I am going to set the search distance to 5,000 feet and run the selection again. This time, when I hit Apply, I see 1 selected feature. Let's add a 0 to our search distance and hit Apply again. This time, we have selected 18 features. This means that 18 substations are within 50,000 feet of the railroad in Archer County. We can also use lines or polygons in our Select by Location tool. I'm going to turn off substations and turn on our roads layer. I will then replace the subs input layer with our roads layer, and then change the search distance back to 0 feet. When I hit Apply, I will now see all roads that cross over our railroad. Another thing to keep in mind, other than the search distance, is the selection type. The default and most commonly used type is new selection. However, there are other options here. The add to current selection type is another option that I use occasionally. This will allow you to make a selection and then make another selection, adding results to the first selection. Always be cautious of what selection type you should be using. Okay, that's it for the Select by Location tool. Next up is the Select by Attributes tool. Okay, next in the selection group is the Select by Attributes tool. With this tool, we are going to select data through our attributes. The Select by Attributes tool is going to utilize a query builder. This is the same query builder that you will see in definition, queries, label expressions, and more. Up here at the top in the selection group, I am going to click Select by Attribute. For the first query, I am going to select the substations layer as my input row. I am going to keep the new selection as my selection type. And then I am going to begin building my expression. Here in the middle is the expression builder. This is how we are going to build our expression that will select the features. For the first expression, I'm going to select state and equals to and Arizona. This will select all substations that are in Arizona. Let's next right-click on substations in the table of contents and open the attribute table. Here at the bottom of the table, you can see there are 623 substations that are within Arizona. Back to the selection group, I am going to hit clear and clear my selection. We can also add multiple expressions into our expression builder. For this query, let's first say state is equal to Colorado, and then click Add Clause, and then let's say county is equal to Denver. In the expression builder, we can also type in the feature that we are looking for. In this case, I will type Denver and then hit Enter, then hit Apply. Here you can see 26 substations that are located in Denver County, Colorado. This time, instead of using an equals to operation, let's change the operator to say includes the values of. This is an important tool because you can check mark all of the features that meet your criteria. For example, let's choose all substations that are within Alaska, Alabama, and Arkansas, and hit Apply. Now you can see there are 4,070 substations located within those 3 states. That includes the values of operation, takes the place of having to type out multiple features delimited with commas. It's something that I use quite often in my selections. The last thing I want to mention with the Select by Attributes tool is the selection type. In all of the examples I just went through, we use the new selection type. I would guess that when using this tool, I am using a new selection 95% of the time. However, there are times when you want to change this to add to the current selection, or maybe remove from the current selection. While not used as often, the other selection types in this list can be important. Okay, that's it for the selection group within the map ribbon. Next up will be a quick tips and tricks chapter on working with selected layers.